Hidden deep within the towering Himalayas lies a country unlike anywhere else on Earth. Imagine waking up every morning surrounded by snow-capped mountains, ancient forests and peaceful valleys where the loudest sounds are birds singing, rivers rushing and prayer flags fluttering in the wind. This is Bhutan, a small kingdom nestled between India and China, often called the last great Himalayan kingdom. For centuries, Bhutan remained isolated from the outside world. While much of the planet experienced rapid industrialization, technological revolutions and urban expansion, Bhutan chose a different path. The country focused on preserving its traditions, protecting its environment, and maintaining a way of life that has been passed down for generations. Today, with a population of fewer than 800,000 people, Bhutan remains one of the world's most unique and mysterious nations. The first thing visitors notice is the country's remarkable architecture. Unlike modern cities filled with glass skyscrapers, nearly every building in Bhutan follows traditional designs. Homes, schools, government offices, hotels, and even shopping centers feature beautifully painted wooden windows, whitewashed walls and colorful decorations inspired by Buddhist art. Strict building regulations ensure that the country's cultural identity remains visible everywhere you go. Most Bhutanese people live in small towns and villages scattered throughout fertile mountain valleys. Life here moves at a slower pace than in many other countries. Families often know every neighbor, and communities work together during planting and harvest seasons. Strong family ties remain one of the foundations of Bhutanese society. A typical day begins before sunrise. In many homes, family members gather for quiet Buddhist prayers before starting their daily routines. Small household altars decorated with candles, prayer wheels, and sacred images serve as spiritual centers within the home. Religion is not simply something practiced once a week. It shapes everyday decisions, relationships, and even the way people understand happiness. After morning prayers, many adults head to the fields. Farming continues to play a vital role in Bhutan's economy and culture. Since much of the country is covered by mountains, farmers have spent centuries building impressive terraces along steep hillsides. These carefully constructed steps allow them to grow rice, potatoes, maize, wheat, and a variety of vegetables despite the challenging landscape. Agriculture in Bhutan remains largely traditional. Many families still use hand tools and animals instead of heavy machinery, especially in remote regions where modern equipment cannot easily reach. Farming is not only a source of income but also a way of preserving knowledge that has been handed down through countless generations. Meanwhile, children walk to school wearing traditional clothing that reflects Bhutan's rich cultural heritage. Boys wear the go, a knee-length robe secured with a belt, while girls wear the elegant kira, a colorful ankle-length dress made from beautifully woven fabrics. These garments are worn proudly not only during ceremonies but also in schools, offices, and official events, helping preserve Bhutan's national identity even as the country slowly embraces modern life. As the sun rises higher over the Himalayan peaks, Bhutan's villages come alive with activity. Farmers work side by side in emerald green rice fields, children laugh on their way to school, and monks in crimson robes quietly walk toward centuries-old monasteries. Despite the arrival of modern technology, life in Bhutan continues to revolve around community, tradition, and an extraordinary connection with nature. One of the most fascinating aspects of Bhutanese society is the role Buddhism plays in everyday life. Nearly every village has a temple or monastery, and colorful prayer flags can be seen stretching across mountain passes, rivers, and hillsides. According to Buddhist belief, every time the wind blows through these flags, it carries prayers of peace, compassion, and good fortune across the world. Scattered throughout the country are massive fortress monasteries known as dzongs. These impressive structures are more than just religious buildings. They serve as administrative centers, cultural landmarks, and gathering places for important festivals. Many of them have stood for hundreds of years, surviving earthquakes, harsh winters, and the passage of time. Their towering white walls and intricately carved wooden balconies are among Bhutan's most recognizable symbols. One of the country's most iconic landmarks is the breathtaking Tiger's Nest Monastery, also known as Paro Taksang. Perched dramatically on the side of a cliff nearly 900 meters above the valley floor, it is considered one of the holiest sites in Bhutan. Reaching it requires a challenging uphill hike, but thousands of pilgrims and visitors make the journey every year. According to legend, Guru Rinpoche, the Buddhist master who brought Buddhism to Bhutan, arrived here on the back of a flying tigress and meditated in a cave that still exists within the monastery today. Religion also shapes how people interact with one another. Respect for elders, kindness toward strangers, and compassion for all living beings are values deeply rooted in Bhutanese culture. It is common to see neighbors helping each other harvest crops, repair homes, or prepare for community celebrations without expecting anything in return. Festivals, known as Chekis, are among the most anticipated events of the year. These colorful celebrations bring entire communities together. People dress in their finest traditional clothing and gather at monasteries to watch sacred masked dances performed by monks. The dances tell ancient stories about the triumph of wisdom over ignorance and good over evil. Music, prayer, and celebration continue for days, strengthening the bonds between families and preserving traditions that have existed for centuries. Food is another important part of Bhutanese culture. The national dish, amadachar, is unlike anything most visitors have ever tasted. Made with large chili peppers cooked in rich local cheese, it reflects Bhutan's love for spicy food. In fact, chilies are not considered a seasoning here, they are treated as a vegetable and appear in almost every meal. Red rice, potatoes, buckwheat, yak meat and fresh mountain vegetables are also staples of the Bhutanese diet, creating simple but nourishing meals perfectly suited to life in the high Himalayas. Even in a rapidly changing world, Bhutan continues to protect its traditions with remarkable determination. Here, culture is not preserved inside museums, it is lived every single day, woven into the clothes people wear, the food they eat, the prayers they recite, and the breathtaking landscapes they call home. While Bhutan is famous for its breathtaking mountains and ancient traditions, life here is not frozen in the past. Over the last few decades, the country has carefully opened its doors to the modern world. Today, smartphones, high-speed internet, electric vehicles, and online education are becoming increasingly common, especially in larger towns like Thimphu and Paro. Yet Bhutan has taken a unique approach to modernization, one that places culture and happiness above rapid economic growth. One of the most surprising facts about Bhutan is that television only arrived in the country in 1999. Until then, there were no television broadcasts and internet access simply did not exist. The government was concerned that outside influences might weaken the country's traditions and cultural identity. When television and the internet were finally introduced, Bhutan became one of the last nations on Earth to embrace the digital age. Today, young Bhutanese use social media, watch international movies, and connect with people around the world just like teenagers in many other countries. However, balancing modern lifestyles with centuries-old traditions has become one of Bhutan's greatest challenges. Many young adults dream of studying or working abroad, seeking better career opportunities and higher salaries than those available at home. Education has become one of the country's highest priorities. Public schools are free and literacy rates have improved dramatically over the past few decades. Students study English from an early age, making it one of the most widely spoken languages alongside Dzongkha, the national language. Many graduates continue their education at universities in India, Australia, Europe, or other parts of Asia before returning home with new skills and ideas. Healthcare is another area where Bhutan has made remarkable progress. Citizens receive free access to healthcare through the public system, even in many remote mountain communities. Doctors and nurses often travel long distances to reach isolated villages, while helicopters are sometimes used to transport patients from difficult-to-access regions during emergencies. Perhaps the most extraordinary aspect of Bhutan's development is its commitment to protecting nature. More than 70% of the country remains covered by forests, and the constitution requires that at least 60% of the land must always stay forested. This legal protection has helped preserve one of the richest ecosystems in Asia. Bhutan is home to an incredible variety of wildlife, including Bengal tigers, snow leopards, red pandas, Himalayan black bears, golden langurs, and the rare takin, the country's national animal. Many of these species roam through protected national parks connected by biological corridors, allowing wildlife to move freely across the mountains. The country is also recognized as one of the world's few carbon-negative nations. Its forests absorb more carbon dioxide than the country produces, making Bhutan a global example of environmental responsibility. Hydroelectric power generated by fast-flowing mountain rivers supplies most of the nation's electricity and even provides clean energy exports to neighboring India. Despite these achievements, Bhutan faces real challenges. Climate change threatens fragile Himalayan glaciers, unpredictable weather affects agriculture, and many rural communities continue to struggle with limited economic opportunities. As more young people move to cities or leave the country, traditional village life is slowly changing. Still, Bhutan continues searching for a balance that few nations have managed to achieve, embracing progress while protecting the values, culture, and natural beauty that make the kingdom so unique. As the day comes to an end, the valleys of Bhutan slowly grow quiet. The golden light of the setting sun paints the Himalayan peaks, prayer flags continue to flutter in the mountain breeze, and families gather once again inside their homes. Dinner is often a simple meal shared around the table, followed by conversation, prayer, or time spent with relatives. In many villages there is little nightlife. Instead, the evenings are peaceful, offering a rare sense of calm that has almost disappeared in many parts of the modern world. What makes Bhutan truly remarkable is not its wealth or its size, but the philosophy that guides the nation. While most countries measure success by the growth of their economy, Bhutan became famous for introducing the concept of gross national happiness, or GNH. Rather than focusing only on money, this philosophy asks a different question. Are people living meaningful, healthy, and balanced lives? The idea of gross national happiness is built on four main pillars: sustainable development, environmental conservation, cultural preservation, and good governance. Government decisions are often evaluated not only by their economic benefits but also by how they affect people's well-being, traditions, and the environment. It is a bold experiment that has attracted researchers, economists, and world leaders from across the globe. However, life in Bhutan is far from perfect. Like every nation, it faces serious challenges. Youth unemployment has become an increasing concern, and many highly educated young people leave the country to seek better-paying jobs abroad. Rising living costs, housing shortages in urban areas, and the influence of global culture have also begun to reshape Bhutanese society. As technology connects Bhutan more closely with the rest of the world, preserving its unique identity becomes more difficult each year. Tourism is another carefully managed part of Bhutan's economy. Unlike many destinations that welcome millions of visitors, Bhutan limits the number of tourists through a sustainable tourism policy. Visitors are required to pay a daily sustainable development fee, helping protect the country's environment, historical sites, and cultural heritage while ensuring that tourism benefits local communities rather than overwhelming them. This approach has helped Bhutan avoid many of the problems caused by mass tourism in other parts of the world. For travelers fortunate enough to visit, Bhutan often feels like stepping into another era. Ancient monasteries cling to cliffs, monks chant prayers that have echoed for centuries, and villages continue traditions that have remained largely unchanged for generations. Yet alongside these timeless scenes, modern schools, hospitals, electric vehicles, and internet cafes remind visitors that Bhutan is quietly moving forward. Perhaps the greatest lesson Bhutan offers the world is that progress does not always have to come at the expense of culture or nature. In an age where many societies are racing toward faster growth and constant consumption, Bhutan encourages a different perspective, one that values balance over excess, community over competition, and harmony with nature over endless expansion. No country has found the perfect formula for happiness, and Bhutan certainly continues to face its own struggles. But its willingness to ask deeper questions about what truly makes life meaningful has inspired people around the world. So, could you imagine living in a place where towering mountains replace skyscrapers, where ancient traditions shape daily life, and where happiness is considered just as important as economic success? Bhutan may be one of the smallest countries on Earth, but its ideas have reached far beyond its borders. It reminds us that sometimes the richest life is not measured by what we own, but by the relationships we build, the culture we preserve, and the world we leave behind for future generations. If you enjoyed discovering how people live in Bhutan, don't forget to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and join us on our next journey as we explore another fascinating corner of our incredible planet. Until next time, thank you for watching.